Okay, hello. Today we have Sarah Marshank, the author of Selfistry practice, and my very good friend. I really love you, Sarah, and I really appreciate, and I'm so happy that you came into my life because it's like a big gift. Mm. Yes, and I would like to give other people the opportunity to meet you and to get in touch with you and to see what this self-history practice is about and how it can change your life. Yeah. So can you please just tell us a little bit about yourself? And how did it happen that self-history appeared?
So the short answer to that question, which is, as you know, a long answer, is in my 20s, my life got so challenging that I felt like I needed answers to questions about what is the meaning of my life, what is the purpose, who am I? I needed those questions answered. And I think many of us at some point, at least once in our life, hit some sort of challenge that brings these questions forward. So for me, that quest or that seeking took me into a 10-year retreat where I did a lot of the meditation practices and movement practices and psychological practices that many of the saints and sages throughout history did. Meditation, fasting, silence, study, very much spending time alone and quiet to listen for the answers from the inside out. Because I don't know about you, but it was very confusing for me to go out and ask other people what the answers to these questions were, and I get all these different answers, right? The priest would answer one way, my mother would answer another way, my girlfriend would answer another way. So it's very confusing to know what is true, what is really true for me. So I spent 10 years figuring that out. And once I figured it out and started to live it, Selfistry was born out of that. And it just emerged in my life as a way to communicate to people that, number one, this is possible. You do not need somebody else to tell you how to live an amazing life. All the answers are within you. Now, it's true that we have to quiet down and get all those other messages out of the way to really listen and hear, but it's possible for everyone. And that's the message I bring forward, that it is possible. And I have a system that worked for me that I can offer you to see if it works for you.
Okay. Can you tell us a little bit more about this system? Because we know already, like watching you a little bit and listening to you, that we have these 3 areas of practice. Can you tell us a little bit deeper about that?
Those 3 realms, I call them, really describe the totality of our human experience. And what I guide people and invite people to do is find their way to be in relationship with Source or God or Truth, which is one of the realms. Then to take a good look at their own life, which is what I call the witness or the observer. And it's this it's kind of like mindfulness in the modern world right now. The Source realm is more like meditation or silence or stillness. Then there's the mindfulness or observer. And then the 3rd realm is life itself, our own unique physiology, psychology. The way you think is different than the way I think. Your life circumstances are different than mine. So once we put all these 3 together, we start living a life connected to Source, aware of what we're doing, and really creative and true to our own inner passion and our own core sense of self.
Yeah. You said that self-history practice is best to be practiced with other people. So we should do it in some kind of community and group. Can we do it ourselves, or why we should do it with others?
Well, as you know, it's actually both, because it's a very personal journey. And sometimes if there's too many people around, we get influenced or distracted, and it's important to cultivate a practice of being alone with your own self and your own connection to yourself and to the divine. However, the actually doing that practice, we need support. And it's very, very hard for most of us, which is why I think I spent 10 years in retreat, because I needed to remove those distractions. And not everybody has the luxury or the opportunity to leave their lives and to go into retreat. So Selfistry, I created Selfistry as a system where you don't have to do that. But you do need support. We all need support to change. Big life changes, we all need support. Even though we're doing it alone, this work, we really are doing it alone together, so that we can support each other and influence each other in ways that really nurture this deeper knowing of self and living from that in the world. And it's more fun.
Yeah,
with other people.
I agree.
Yeah.
I remember myself in 2014 when I had some kind of transformation myself, because I was living a family life. I was the housewife with 2 little kids, a little bit away from my family, my city when I was born, and I was living for 30 years. So it was a big change for me, and I really felt disconnected with myself. So in this 2014, I had some kind of breakdown, and I really needed that I need to change something in my life to go forward and now not to go crazy, to find my true self, my authentic self. And it was a really big experience for me. And when I entered this path, it's going even deeper and deeper, and I feel like I'm learning so much more, and I can see so much more right now. So I'm wondering if you can actually, during this retreat, this 4 days, if you can do the first step to this kind of transformation, to search for your true self and to find these very important answers. What is the most important for you and how you want to live your life?
My feeling is yes. I just finished teaching a retreat in Mexico. I had people there in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and one gentleman in his 80s. And everybody there had a transformational experience. But the beauty about it, which is very fulfilling for me as a teacher and as the creator of this work, is that they left with tools that they can integrate into their lives after the retreat. Because this is key. What Selfistry is a way to change your lifestyle. This isn't like you do this once, you figure it out, and your life is great forever. Nobody's life is great forever. The question is, how do we move with the challenges that emerge as we go through our lives? And this is a very simple and elegant system that you can apply anytime, anywhere for the rest of your life, to deepen in that and to continue to make it sustainable, which is one of my goals.
Yes, that's true. Actually, when I talk to girls who want to join the retreat, and sometimes they worry that maybe something will happen, something will open inside of them, and it will be very difficult experience. So how can you answer to that, this kind of fear that may come?
That's a beautiful question. And what I tell people is that I will set up the system for you, but you are free to explore it at the pace that works for you. So I really empower people to find their own way to engage this work that isn't too overwhelming, but it isn't too easy. You want to kind of find those tough spots. I also, and this is really important, I also am building systems for after the retreat that will continue to support you and hold you to manage anything like you're describing that will open up. And because the truth is that stuff will open up. If you're going to do this kind of exploration of finding your core sense of self, you're going to hit up some fear. You're going to hit some pain or some grief or some, and all we do is we support you to just be with that, and to be, if you're afraid, to be afraid, but to not run away. And the system will hold you, and I will hold you, and Camila will hold you. And I love that we're doing a retreat, because when I do just a one-day workshop, it's not quite enough time to really give us permission to see what it's like to hit these pockets and not run from them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. And I remember our last year retreat, and what I experienced is that we are in a very safe environment, that you are the one that is really taking care of this safe environment, and girls that were participating, they were really feeling comfortable doing the retreat with others. They didn't have any feeling of disconnection or any feeling of feeling uncomfortable. And this is also my experience, because the more I do it, the better and joyful I feel. You said that this is very elegant and simple technique, and this is my experience, that actually I'm waiting, when should we start, because this is exciting for me to just feel it again.
I love that. And I also love that it's very universal, right? We don't speak the same native language, and many of you out there, the women who are going to come, English is not your first language. And what we discovered is that it doesn't matter, that the language of the divine and the language of our own inner self and the language of our ability to be aware is universal. Yeah. And so there is a safety in that as well, which I thought was really beautiful, and is why I just love my Polish community and look forward to continuing to grow and connect the community of Selfistry in Poland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I want to add one more thing, because I remember when we met in Warsaw, and we were talking about actually privately a little bit, and you told me that I don't need to look outside, and I don't need to look in other people for some kind of feeling or some kind of experience, that I can easily find it in myself if I just stay quiet and sit. Yes, sit, shut up, sit and be quiet. This is what you repeat always. Can you please add a little bit more to that? Because I'm thinking about these girls that are feeling really disconnected, and that are feeling unhappy in their lives. So what Selfistry can give them?
The first thing it gives is permission, which is huge. You have the permission to take some time out of your life to ask these questions and be with yourself. The second thing it gives you some tools on how to do that and what will happen when you do that. And the third thing it gives you is support. You have me, those of you who have read my story or know me, pretty much know that whatever you're going to encounter on your journey isn't anything that's going to scare me away, or that we can't handle, or that I'm not familiar with. And so there's this knowing that there's a mama here that's going to hold you and going to meet you there and guide you to stay with and to go deeper. So permission, tools, and support. That's what you're going to get.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Is that enough, do you think?
Yes, I have just one last question. I want to ask you about your life right now after this 10 years of retreat, how it changed and what Selfistry is for you right now and what it gave you.
First of all, what it gave me is that personal connection to my own self and my own sense of the holy or God or truth or divinity or source, by whatever name. So I feel, in English we have a word called sovereign. I feel sovereign. I feel connected and at ease with myself and my life. And what that allows for is more ease and joy and clarity in navigating my life, which is hard and challenging and uncomfortable and uncertain. It's not like anything out there changes, unfortunately. So the world is still chaotic, life is still hard, you're still a mom with young kids and a marriage and a business and chaos and craziness and good days and bad days. But there's this joy and ease around meeting that. And there's also a knowing that I have the tools and the skills to meet my life, because I can't control it. Nobody can control it. I can meet it. There's a humbleness about it and a willingness and a joyfulness to meet life as it is. And I don't know about you, Camila, but for me, in a way, that's all I was ever looking for, right? Mm-hmm. How to really celebrate this gift of life and enjoy it while I'm here instead of trying to fix it or control it.
This is so beautiful what you just said. I think that we can close this with this our interview. And thank you very much that you're coming, that you agreed to come, and that you will do this retreat for our Polish audience. And I hope that it will change as many lives as possible.
Wonderful. And we are going to be doing a webinar next week. So maybe for those of you who are listening to this interview, if you have some questions or concerns, let Camila know and we can address them on the webinar. And I hope to see you in June at our fabulous retreat. I'm sure it's going to be really beautiful and very rejuvenating for all of us. Yeah.
For sure. Thank you so much.
Thank you.